Hello UWS Teach students. I'm making a tutorial video for you to show you how to create a basic blog with photos, video and links to other pages on the internet. This is the most essential thing that you will need to be able to do, so I suggest that you get used to this by doing it yourself several times this week, not just the one blog I've asked you to write. So hopefully you've got as far as getting into the dashboard. The previous video in the lecture notes showed you how to do that. If you haven't, drop me an email, aftertrace@me.com. Once you're in the dashboard, go to Posts at the bottom left hand corner, and you can see that one of the options there is Add New. So I'm going to click on Add New, and it's going to create a new post for me. So I'm going to call this, well, you might call it, maybe you're writing your Ken Robinson one. I'm going to write Ken Robinson on education, and you might start it off with something like this. Today I watched Ken Robinson's presentations at TED. Okay, text is fairly easy. I'm sure that you can manage that. What I want to do is quickly show you how to add other things which will make your blogs and web pages much more interesting. So the first thing I want to show you is how to add an image. The buttons for inserting different elements into your WordPress blog are here. We're only going to look at the first two right now, and the first one is to add an image. So if you've got an image that you've taken with your own camera, or maybe you've made an image by sort of maybe creating something graphically on your computer using a graphics program, then you can upload it yourself to here. You just click Choose File, browse to wherever you've saved that image file, and then upload it, and it will appear within your blog. The other place, of course, that you can get images is from the internet. So if you found something on the internet and you're pretty confident that you're not going to get in copyright trouble for using it on your own blog, just click the From URL button. Now, there are a few interesting places that you can go to on the internet to find good copyright-free photos. The first one is a website called Flickr, flickr.com. And you should sign up for your own account on here if you want to share your own photos. If you scroll down to the bottom, you'll find a very small link, but a very important one, called Creative Commons. And if I click on that, it's going to take me to the Creative Commons page. Now, there are various different kinds of Creative Commons images. I'm just going to look at the first one, attribution license. And what that means is that the person who made this image is happy to share it with you as long as you credit them for having taken the photo. So we can simply click See More, and then I can do a search in all of the attribution licensed photos on Flickr, and there are lots. So for instance, yesterday we were looking for a flamenco dancer to put in the blog. Let's click that, and I've managed to find some flamenco dancers down here, but also some flamencos up here. Both are pretty exciting. So I can download those now or grab links to those and put them in my blog. Another place you might want to start off searching is just to go to Google, but actually click on the images button at the top left, and then to do a search. I'm going to type flamenco dancer this time up here. You'll then have to look at the individual copyright rules for each page. But let's just assume that this one here I'd found was maybe part of a national gallery they were giving away, as the Powerhouse Museum in Sydney do, a lot of their archived stuff online. Once you've opened the image itself, the address of that image is available at the top of the page in the address bar, and we can simply copy and paste that. Command C to copy, Control C if Command C on a Mac, Control C if you're on a PC, and then when I go back into my blog, I can paste it where it says image URL, and to paste is Command V on a Mac or Control V on a PC. I can give it a title. Please do this, it's really important, because for people who are blind reading your website, they'll still be able to find out what the image was about. So I can type flamenco dancer. You can put alternate text if you like there, and if somebody owns the copy of that, the copyright of that image, but it's an attribution license, like I just showed you on Flickr, then you can put here image by Norman Smith, I'll say, and you can choose whether you want it to go left, right, center, and last but not least, you click Insert into Post, and you can see now that image is there. and we've credited it underneath. If it's a Flickr website, you might also want to include the web address of that person, or that it was shared on Flickr for free. Okay, so that's how to do images. Now we want to look at how to embed a YouTube movie. You can actually embed video off many different video sharing websites, but we'll look at YouTube because it's the biggest one. I've got here a music video that we're going to look at in a later week.
Well, what can I do?
So once I've found the address of the YouTube movie that I'm interested in, it's just as simple as copying that. Again at the top, Command-C to copy on a Mac, Control-C on a PC. Go back to my blog, and this time we found before that we had an image button at the top. Next to the image button is a video button. So we click Add Video. Again, if you've actually taken video in your classroom or something, then upload it. You can just choose the file there and upload it. But we're going to grab, this is from somewhere else on the internet. So we click From URL, and then we paste the Google address that we just copied from the Google website in here. So to paste again on a Mac, it's Command and V. On a Windows computer, it's Control and V. And then we click Insert into Post. Now it sort of looks a little bit disappointing when it first goes into your blog because it doesn't actually show the video, but it will once we publish it or preview it, which we'll do in a second. So the last thing I want to show you now is how to link to other pages on the internet or even other pages on your own blog, because that's quite important. So for instance, if you found some interesting resources on my website, you might say there is a great piece of music about this at James's website or something like that. And then to create a link, highlight the text that you want to be the link, and at the top of the text editor there's a little button with a picture of a chain on it. So if you click that button, it then asks you for the internet address of the site you want to link to. So I'm going to type www.composerhome.com, and again it's important to give it a title, so I'll call it James's site. And this button here, Open Link in a New Window tab, is really useful because you don't want people to actually completely leave your blog and forget they were ever there. So I would certainly tick that one. And then click Add Link, and you can see that that text has gone purple, or it'll go blue if you've never visited that site before. When you finish typing your site, you can publish it, and because this is a blog post, it will always appear on the front page of your blog at the very top. Before you publish it, if you're not sure how it's going to look, you can click Preview, and let's do that right away because that way we can see what this is going to look like. So there we go, you can see the title, Ken Robinson on Education. Today I watched Ken Robinson's presentations at TED, and if we scroll down we can see the flamenco dancer, the YouTube movie embedded nicely, and there's a link to my website, and if I click on that it's going to take me there, and it's done it in a new tab. So those are the important things that you need to be able to do. You need to be able to type text, which is fairly simple, add an image, add a video, and add links to other pages where you find useful resources that you want to share on the internet. The last thing that I showed you in the tutorial was a little bit more to do with how your blog looks. When it opens, it'll open with a very plain, fairly boring looking theme. So back in the dashboard, if you go to scroll down the page and go to Appearance, and then click on Themes, you'll be able to find a whole bunch of different themes which are sort of looks for your WordPress page. So you can choose one that you think suits your personality. There are over 100 available. And you can also, under Appearance, choose Widgets, which allows you to add other extra little things onto the page. I suggest that you have a fun 10 minutes just experimenting, clicking the Preview button and seeing what your page looks like with different themes applied to it. So there you go. Hopefully now you can write your first blog, which is of course to watch the Ken Robinson movie and to write what you thought about it and what you think it means for music education.